Everyone, as I promised in last lecture, we will discuss doc type and head element in next lecture. So before moving forward to doc type and head element, we need to know how to save our HTML pages. Okay, HTML files. Okay, so if you see here, I have used extension as HTML and the name is index. So you can any name like whatever the name you prefer, you can use that name, and then you have to use that extension is HTML. Always whenever you're saving as a HTML file, you have to need use extension as a .html. Okay, so this is the way to saving our HTML file. Cool. So next is coming as doc type. Okay, so what is the doc type and what are the uses of in HTML? So if we are talking about the doc type, then doc type is not a part of HTML element. This is not a HTML element. Okay, so doc type is mostly the work of doc type is to render our page perfectly on a page web. Okay, so what is the mean by the rendering perfectly? So we have lots of version of HTML. Okay, so the doc type main work is to tell to the browser, hey, we are using this type of version, that this type of HTML version, so please render that according. Okay, so because there is some tag, some element which is supported in latest HTML but not supported in older HTML. So that's why doc type will tell to the browser ki we are using this type of this version of HTML, so please use according to and render according to that. Okay, so that is the use of doc type. Okay, so the next is coming head element. So what is the head element? Element, as I told, it is contain metadata of HTML documents. Okay, so this is not display on a web page as I already told in a last lecture. Okay, so let's discuss one by one some tags, some elements which come inside the head. So if you see, the first is title. So what is the title? Title is the page of the title, means your web page of the title. So every page have different title, that is also used for the SEO purpose. Okay, so if you open any web page, like I'm opening this page itself, if you see, if you go in a browser, if you see here the title, this is the page title. If you see, this is the page title. If you go in a title, here is this is a page title, the same thing is rendering here. Okay, so next thing is the meta cat set UTF-8. What is the UTF-8 means? It's a 8-bit Unicode transformation format. Okay, so what is the use of that? In HTML we have different characters, thousands of characters, and the symbol. So UTF-8 will do this, will encode the character by default. Okay, so the use of UTF-8 is encoding that character and symbol by default. So that's why we're using UTF-8 in a char set, as a char set in HTML. Okay, so next we have a name keyword, then name, description, name author, name viewport. So I will discuss one by one. So keyword and description is used for the SEO. So whenever we search something on a Google, like we search HTML, so that HTML will look that meta name keyword and that content we have. Okay, and description will, when we search that keyword, then there is some description come on a web browser Google. When you search in Google indexing, you will see the name, and then below you will see the description, that description will come from here. Okay, then we have author. So you will can just define the name of author and contain the name of that, so that will define that author of that page. Okay, so next is we have a viewport. Viewport is important thing. So viewport is the, if you see the content here, width is equal to device width. Width is equal to device width means it will take the width of that device where you're rendering the page. Okay, according to that, whenever we write media query, like we are writing a media query of 768 on a tab. Okay, so that width will take that viewport, and the media query will apply to that only width. So we have some format to write media query that we'll discuss in later. So viewport is important for the media query. If you're not using viewport in your meta, then the media query will not work. Okay, so next we have initial scale 1.1, max scale 1.1, min scale 1.2. This is for the zooming thing. The scaling means zoom. So initial scale means whenever we are coming on a page, so what will the initial scale? So 1.0 default means this will not a zoom in or not a zoom out. So it's defaultly scale 1. So we are controlling by maximum scale 1.1 and minimum scale 1.0. So we can control the zoom in. It will not go below the 1.2, and it will not go the outer 1.2. So that's why we are using viewport scale here. Okay. So next we have a link and script. So link is for calling the external style file. Okay, if you say the relation, what is relation is style sheet, and what the format type, so text and css. So these are the two attribute which is here. And then href in this href attribute, we just pass the path of that external css. Samely here for script in src, we pass the external, like suppose we have style dot css, just pass the name here if in the same location, and script.js, like that you just pass the path and you can use that. So this is the use of the head and doc type. Hope you understand. If you have any question, just put the comment. Thank you.